Hey YouTube. All right, YouTube, I want to teach you how to talk positively and how to speak in such a way that you create to create the very life that you want. But this isn't just typical willy-nilly type of talk. And so what happened is I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who swear up and down that they know how to speak positively, at least enough to create their own worlds, right? But when they get to talking, every now and again they'll insert something negative. And I say to myself, you just sabotaged everything else you just said, right? And so it got me to the point to where I'm like, look, I keep telling people individually. So like they'll ask me, can you help me? Can you help me? And I'll help them. But I'm doing it individually. So I got to the point to where I said, listen, I'm just gonna go on YouTube. I'm gonna do some videos and I'm just gonna let a bunch of people know all at the same time. YouTube, is this something that you're interested in? Do you find yourself ever speaking positive, but then something will arise and then all of a sudden you're inserting something negative? Do you have like great success in your life and then all of a sudden you feel stuck in some kind of way because it could be verbal? And so I have a friend who's trying to lose weight. And when I look at him, he's done all the right things. He hasn't done anything wrong. However, he's still struggling. But then his mouth does not line up with his goals. And I know a lot of you is like, oh, I do my affirmations. No, this is not an affirmation type of thing. Back in 2019, in October, I went live and I did for the very first time. It was a mental fast. It was the first time that I did with people. But this is something that I've been doing with myself all my life. And so I went on this 30-day mental fast and I opened it up to other people and I invited people in. I was surprised. I had such a great response. Every week, hundreds of people was just being added. I ended up coaching people. That was not even something that I wanted to do. I didn't mind, but I was surprised and I was shocked. And so what ended up happening is that some of the testimonies that I was getting back, and because I was not running this like a business, I didn't keep any of the testimonies and the people have gone. So, you know, it was a positive impact and I'm grateful for it. But some people stopped drinking. They were alcoholics and they used the system that I was implementing to stop drinking. Some people, they got their marriage healed and they got back together and was reconciled. And I was amazed because I know that what I do work because it works for me, but I was not expecting to have such great results. Now, this was a 30-day fast. And so, what ended up happening is everything that I wrote on the paper, not only did I put check marks beside everything because I achieved everything, but I didn't achieve it in 30 days. I achieved it in 3 weeks. And the same thing after that. So now I'm noticing more and more and more how I do this and how it's being successful, how I'm being successful with it. And what I'm noticing, the time frame is actually between 2 and 3 weeks, sometimes 30 days, but mostly 2 and 3 weeks. And so, what I did over the last few years is I started looking at other people and other things and seeing who believes the way I believe and who knows what I know and who knows stuff that I don't know. And so what I did is I took everything and I put it together and I made my own program. This is something that I live by, right? And I know that what I'm saying is right. And I know that what I'm saying is true when I look at other people. So, for example, I was just watching another video of this guy who was in the streets as a young child. He came up, he turned his life around after he went to jail a few times. He changed his life around and he was speaking with such faith. And so now he's a coach and a mentor, and he was talking about children. And one of his requirements is that the children believe in God. And I was like, oh, okay, so he believes in God, he has great faith. Okay, this is at least what I thought. And so he's talking he's talking about every area of his life. So there's two areas, right? Emotionally and love. Right? And so I said to myself, he doesn't realize what he's saying. He was positive, 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 skip over, positive, positive. And so the two areas that he skipped over, he said something about his father not being there as a child and his mother being arrested and being in jail as a child. And so his father died and he didn't care, but he ended the what he was saying with, there'll be a void there forever. And I said to myself, I thought he believed in God. Because if you believe in God, you got to have faith. And if you have faith, anything is possible. Okay? And so, what I teach is you can speak pretty much anything into existence. You can create with your words. So, when he said this void to be there, oh, heck yeah, it's going to be there. It's going to be there forever. Why? Because you gave it permission. When he said it's going to be there, it was almost like a personal invitation for void to live there. And what he doesn't really realize is that void spills over into his love life. And that's part of the reason why he's not married. The same issues that he was having with his coach, why he couldn't open up from the hurt and the trauma as a child and the identity that was put on him and the words that was even spoken to him as a child. Oh my God, I could feel all of that right now. Is all still sitting there, and it's alive, so to speak. It has life, and it's just living in that area of his life. And I said to myself, if he would just change his words, he would begin to see that void would begin to move, and he would have healing. And he wants to be married, and that's the thing. That part of his life spills right on over into his marriage. And so he may have been to marriage counseling. He may have sought out a marriage coach. Honey, you can do all of that. You can even do manifestation techniques and all of that. But until you address those issues, you're gonna have the success like he has been having, but not in that area and not the way that he wants. He has to train his mouth to line up with his goals. He has to train his mouth to line up with the things that he desires, or else he'll be his greatest obstacle down the road, or he'll be his greatest obstacle. And anyone, this is actually for anyone. And so I am to that point. I just want to teach what I've learned. I want to share what I know, and I want to see people live. I want to see people eat. I want to see people rock out, because I know for sure. And I know that they say, I know that it's toward well, first it's the mental, then it's the feeling, then it's the words. I have a little secret for you. When you don't know what to think or how to think, you can tell yourself what to think. There's something in your brain, and I'll let you know what it is in the next video, but there's something in your brain that's voice activated. Right? So even if you don't know what to speak because you're not feeling it, if I told you, you can activate it just by the sound of your voice. There's so much more, and it's so much deeper. There's so much more to learn, and there's so much more that I have that I can teach you all. But is that something that you're interested? Would you like to know how to speak in such a way to get more clients, and then once you get clients, how to speak to them to not only maintain their business and their service, but to scale? Would you like to know how to speak to your kids so you can enhance your relationships with them? Would you like to know how to speak to your spouse? One, to either get one, or to reestablish and reconcile your relationship with your spouse? Would you like to know the inner work by speaking, using your words, voice activation, to heal so that you can lose the weight and be the best version of yourself? How to be happy? Would you like to know that? Let me know in the comments, and let me know what else you would like for me to discuss as well. I'm looking forward to a great 2025. You to walk with me as I also implement some of these not some of them, I do it every day, but I have some goals that I'm going to be working on, and I'm using these strategies to help me to achieve these goals in 2025. And I'm looking to do it earlier in the year, and I'm going to be full transparent. All right. Thank you. I love you all. Bye. See you soon.